noticing some of your attention is slipping a little. Girls over here having conversations and whatnot. One more person to listen to and then a few questions. You can do it. Welcome, Abby.
We can be proud of our school for a lot of reasons. We get international top scores. Some of you may have won SPH Cup or JAC tournaments. But I think what really holds our school together is a sense of community. It's being close with your friends, having really good conversations with your classmates, or tour hops with your favorite teachers. And for me, the student council is a crucial part of developing this community. So, for that reason, I'm running for president. But I've got less than 5 minutes to explain my entire dream for the student council for you guys. So even though it's cliche, I'm going to use the simple 3-word method to explain why I'm running for president. Number 1, I'm passionate. Number 2, I'm hardworking. And number 3, I'm experienced. To start off, deciding to run for president wasn't an easy thing to do. So we were recently at a retreat, and then I told God really bluntly, if this is something you want me to try, then you're going to have to make me really, really excited about it. And then almost instantly after I prayed that, I started thinking about the future of the student council, and then I got really excited. And so I sort of took that as God's answer. And then I also sort of reflected, and then I realized how my passion for the student council has always been very strong. And so out of that passion, my vision for the student council has come. So my vision is for the student council to be the glue that holds people from all different friend groups, grade levels, passions and hobbies together in one community. You might be the jock or really nerdy, or you might like gaming or just hanging out with friends and playing games. But no matter what your passion is, you should feel like you're a part of the greater community. And it's the student council's responsibility to build this community. So this vision actually comes from my own experiences. When I was your age, when I first started grade 7, I was known as the boule, frizzy-haired girl, nerdy girl who, likes studying. And then that left a pretty small community for me to interact with, right? Because if people have that vision of you, then that just leaves a small community. And so I joined a committee, and then suddenly I was joining all sorts of student council events, and I wasn't seen as that person anymore. But now I was part of a greater community, and I had friends from all different grade levels, and I was getting to know people and getting involved in all sorts of things besides just school. And I had so much fun, and honestly some of my best SPH memories are thanks to that. So the student council actually has miles of opportunity to continue to build community. And every year that I've been in the student council, it's been getting better. You guys haven't known all the previous presidents, but I think we've been consistently increasing in our quality and caliber. But I think that passionate leaders will be able to build on what Marcel, or what, for those of you who know, before Marcel, have done. So, for example, take the charity run. In the past 2 years, the student council leaders have made the planning and the organization for a really good event. But not a lot of people have joined it necessarily. So this year, I think with passionate leaders, we can make this event a highlight and the pinnacle of our student council events. It can be a really amazing color run, quality race around school. By adding our own passion and excitement and spreading this excitement to the entire student body. Because with my experience in student council, I've seen that when the leaders lack passion and vision, then the committee members who are making the events lack that. And then the excitement doesn't spread to the student body no matter how good the event is going to be. So as president, what I bring to the table is definitely passion. Improving the passion of the student council also means that I listen to your ideas and I make these my own. So adopting your passions. And the great thing is that when you're really excited about events, people like Mrs. Judy and Mr. Don notice that. And then they let us have crazier and bigger events, which improves your experiences in the student council too. And it's just a continual upward cycle. And I have this passion, so I can lead the student council in this direction. My best friend also jokes that I must have a chemical problem in my brain that makes me focus and work really hard. Now, luckily I don't have that chemical problem, but I do work really, really hard. I enjoy challenges, and I really like having to stretch until I achieve my goals. And in the student council, this means that I would be working for you nonstop, day in, day out, really, really hard. Most of the time, students don't actually see how much work the president does do, but I've got to work under Marcel this year, and it's a lot of background stuff, and it's actually a really, really big workload. So no matter which one of the candidates gets the position, it's going to be pretty hard. However, I know that I have the work ethic to keep the student council successful. I'll work hard to keep up the strengths of the current student council because honestly it is pretty good. It's improved this year with Senate meetings, Senate meetings, leaders meetings, and a lot of administrative things behind the scenes. But I also want to improve the student council, especially for middle school, because I was a student in middle school and I was part of the student council and I was one of the only ones and it was quite limited in the middle school, which I think is the student council's greatest disadvantage. To name a few things, I want new events that might appeal to a greater audience, such as MasterChef spin-off, or comedy nights, or maybe more community building things like a Habitat for Humanity build, or a local missions trip. And I also want better use of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram so you guys actually know what's going on. Because you might not pay attention to morning news, or you might not get excited for morning news, but when you're at home looking through your social media, that's when you really are focusing, right? Let's be honest. So the biggest thing that I want is to get more of you guys, the younger grades, involved in the student council. I honestly think that that's the best way to improve it, which also means getting more of you guys on committees and really encouraging you guys to join committees, because this year there hasn't been enough, and I think that's really been not very good. And my third and maybe most important trait is that I'm experienced. So I joined the student council in grade 7, as I mentioned before, and so I've been a part of the social outreach committee called SOC every year. And then this year, I was blessed with the opportunity of leading this committee. And I've always been told that I was sort of a natural leader, or at least that I was, good at leading people in, classroom settings. So I figured that if I was leading social outreach committee, it would be easy. But let me tell you, that idea was smacked out of my head pretty fast, because I realized that the passion to lead and the desire to lead may come easily, but to actually be a good leader takes practice. Now, thankfully, this year I've got to practice leadership so that I've learned about good leadership. I've learned how to delegate work, how to motivate, how to give and accept constructive criticism, and also how to push for events with the administration when they're not too keen on approving them, but when the student body really wants an event. Luckily, my committee members have been really amazing, so it's been a good learning experience. Now, you guys are pretty lucky because you still have a lot of time in senior school. And in your time in the senior school, our presidents have been really good. But during my 5 years in senior school, we've had some good, some not so good, so I've seen what works and what doesn't work. And with this experience, as well as my passion and work ethic for the student council, I'm ready to be your president. So I'm Abby White, for those of you who don't know me, which is easy to remember because I'm Boulay, so you just look for the last name. And I'm running to be your president. Thank you.
Okay, now it's your chance to ask some questions. Ms. Esther, can you help with the microphone in case anybody needs it? And we need your attention for this part as well. So when I have your attention, I'll continue. What I would like you to do is carefully consider why you're asking your question. If it's a sincere question that you think will help understand better the candidates, then please ask it. If it's a question just to be silly and get a few laughs, please don't ask it. Both teachers and students are welcome to ask questions. We only have about 8 minutes left for that. Are there any questions anybody would like to ask any of these candidates? We have one at the back. Listen carefully so you know what they're responding to.
Vincent, for Eagles 4, how do you plan to provide jerseys to everybody?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of your question.
How do you plan to provide jerseys to everybody?
Okay. First of all, sometimes it's really hard to get everything you want whenever there's a school event that only lasts a couple of hours. And so if we create a permanent shop somewhere in SPH, or maybe at least something that lasts longer than just a couple of hours, it allows for more time for people to buy their jerseys. Now, we wouldn't buy it for you, right? If that's the assumption, I'm rather sorry, because but, right, what I'm trying to push for is a longer time that you guys can buy it. Because really, right now, you can't buy it, right? And so if you could buy it right now, it'd be really cool and have more time for it. Thank you.
For the Eagle store, what will the price range be?
Well, then again, it depends